This is the MTPredictor Weekly Market update for March 24th. Again, we can take a look at the weekly charts here, the Dow on the right, S&P, and the NASDAQ on the left here. Let's start with the S&P here. And just going to do a quick update tonight. Not much has changed in terms of, we can see, let's expand this a little bit. Our S&P, again, that 1520 to 1560 area that we were looking at that as resistance. We got a couple of red sellers candles that have come in here with some selling, so we'll see. When we look at the Dow has taken out its resistance level. The S&P is still stuck in this 1520 to 1560 area and hasn't been able to get out of that. Alright, so it's still an area to protect long positions, because we could certainly correct just as we did here. Weekly correction, we could in this area as well. The on balance volume still looks good. No divergence there. That's this here. So still the volume still following the move up here. So that looks good. If we look at the, again, that 1560, we still have to get out of that area. If they can get out of that area, then you see the next major resistance level will start around 1650 area. Alright, you got the big round, nice round 1600 there as well. If we look at the Dow is just powered through its resistance. Like if we take a decision point off this decision point off here, you can see it's taken that area out. We've closed above that area, and that high was taken out. That tells us they're going to the next resistance level, which sits around 14,660. We'll call it 14,700. Make it even. Is the beginning of that next major resistance area. Dow 15,000 would be right behind that, and the top of the range would be just below 16,000. So Dow still looking strong there, but again, the S&P is in resistance, so we got to watch that. The one that's still really a problem here is this NQ. Alright, so we'll take a look in terms of the pattern here. Alright, so if we see the pattern here, this is the wave 2 or B resistance area. You see, we talked about we closed above that area, and I gave you that number. If they took the high out, which was 28.17, then we should test this level here and then test the decision point resistance level up here, and everything that would be at around 29. I'll call it 2908, 2909. If they took this area out, we'd test this and then this, and then we'd have all the markets in sync. You'd have your Russell, your Dow, your S&P, NASDAQ all saying the same thing. But you can see the NQ failed. We got a market structure high there that triggered short, which tells us the swing high could be in here. So that, coupled with the fact that the S&P is not out of that 1560 level, we could certainly decline from here. So protect those long positions. All right, let's skip over to let's look at gold. So gold here, this is the daily chart, but you see it's hit that triangle bottom support there. Little wave 2 or B support here, and it's rallied off that area. You see the different levels of resistance with the top of the triangle resistance here. That would come in around 1614, so just above 1600 there. And if we want to project up wave 3 here, just to see where that comes. Yeah, it'll be right around the the 200 period moving average would be the, make this a little bigger here, your typical wave 3 resistance up there. That comes in right around 1650, almost 1660. Right, so we'll have some resistance above there. This is the 50 period, right around 1618. And silver, I'm just going to look at the May contract here. Silver also, basically found support where gold did. It hasn't it's had that little pullback here. Not quite the strong move that gold had up off that Cyprus news, but it's in support here. Wave C is not too far above this, right around this 2950 here, and a DP right around that 2950. So that's your next resistance level there, with some support. This is going to be down right around 28.25, 28, yeah, around 28 and a quarter, and below that, around 27.70. There, let's take a look at oil. And where's my CO? So you see this daily, this long signal here on the daily chart, not a standard trade setup. You see we had a high volume spike that came in there, telling us this could have been professional buyers stepping in. You see the target there is 105. If we look at the weekly chart, right, remember this long setup in the weekly chart was, is still long there. Didn't quite get to the target there before the pullback. We'll see if it does finish out. Had another kind of positive move. Maybe it consolidates a little, but this whole area here, this 80 to 100, 110 area, is that consolidation area we've been in for quite a while, for a number of months. So still a upward bias there if you're long this. The stops there, 88.72 now for a risk-free trade. Let's look at the dollar index. Again, this moved higher off the support. We had the support levels that came in down here. Right in there, and is rallied off of that. Here's our next, where it should be in this. Get this on here. Decision point resistance area here, and just above that, that'll come in around 85.40. But the target for this, again, been a long time coming, will be just inside that, around 85.06. And then finally the euro. So that short trade here on the weekly that we looked at, still playing out. You see the target down there at 1832, with some support next off the B swing here, decision point. That gives us 25.26, right around there on that. All right, so that's about it. We'll just take one more. I was going to look at Apple here because we looked at this. Remember the decision point buy signal here was on a nice 5-wave pattern down here. The target there around 493. All right, it's going to need to see that target to kind of get it out of danger if we look from the perspective of the weekly chart. We had that topping pattern here. The typical correction is back to this wave 4 DP. If it takes this out to the downside, again, we go back to the bottom of wave 1 here and take a decision point, and that gives us the next big target to the downside. So what we're saying is, if the fact that they did take out this low here prior, it was not a good sign, but it's broken the daily trend line here. You saw the decision point buy signal in here. It needs to snap back up into this decision point area. If it can start closing above this area, then maybe Apple's above that $500 level. Maybe Apple's out of the woods, and if they can get the trend which was up prior to continue, if not, this we could see we could see Apple's price cut in half if this continues to follow through. So, all right, so we'll wrap it up there. We got the Fed out of the way last week. We got options expiration out of the way there. So, heading into a holiday week, which will be Good Friday on Friday, of course, and Easter all around the corner here. Got a
Connection lost.
Got a lot of news that will be coming out this week. So heading into the holidays, we'll see if the market, they like to head higher into the holidays. And then we'll have to be on the lookout for maybe a potential trend change after the holidays. So we'll keep an eye on that. All right, so we'll see you. Have a good trading week. We'll see you back next Sunday.